Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. If you don't know what this is my book club and our book club and your book club if you choose so. We're currently in the middle of reading this book, When God Was a Rabbit by Sarah Weinman. If you would like to join in, you can click the book and I'll take you to the first part of this book club. If you have already been reading along and watched the other videos and know exactly what you're doing, then you know what you're doing and you can just keep watching because we're going to talk about this. So since the last video, things have kind of happened because it's a book and things happen in books. And it's a story and it progresses. So that's good for the book. Basically, Charlie, who was Joe's kind of friend, but more than friend, boyfriend, I don't really know what's going on there, moved away without telling them, or Ellie and Joe, and that kind of ended that relationship, obviously. And then Ellie also moves away. Well, Ellie and her family move away to start a bed and breakfast, which leaves Jenny kind of by her lonesome. Great, right? It's not good. So Ellie and her family started bed and breakfast out in the woods, and they're just living life. God gets run over by one of the people staying there. That's a really weird sentence. God gets run over. It's almost like that song. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Stop, Andrew. Oh. So God gets run over. They kick that person out. Yada yada yada. We meet Alan, who is their chauffeur. We meet Ginger and Arthur, who are people that stay there, but Arthur becomes Ellie's tutor because she doesn't want to go to school anymore. So they become a part of kind of like their family. That becomes their, I guess, almost like an extended family. Arthur and Ginger and even Alan are all kind of mashed in there. Joe moves away for school. Before he does that, though, Charlie appears on the news after like no contact and gets, I guess because he gets kidnapped. Jenny calls the bed breakfast one day and mysteriously is like, I can't talk, but I'll tell you when I can, and then disappears for like ever. And yeah, that's kind of the happenings before the time jump. So, like I said before, or in the last video, this book is set up where it has kind of like set into two time frames, when she's kind of a little child and when she's older. So we now move into this older phase, which is about 15-year difference between the two time frames. So in this older time frame, we kind of definitely see like this big switch between her character, which is really kind of nice to see. It becomes a little less frantic and childlike and more grown up. Things are more focused. Events that do happen are more focused on and elaborated and given more depth, as opposed to things just sporadically happening for no reason, which is definitely more of like an older viewpoint on things. So it starts off with Ellie getting a letter in the mail from Jenny, who is now in prison, which we find out is because she murdered someone, but it was in self-defense. But the court ruling decides that no, you're still going to get jail and be there for like 9 years. Ellie goes to visit Jenny, Jenny bails. They still write back and forth, and Ellie decides to write a column in the newspaper about her meeting Jenny again, but kind of in a fictitious way, that it's not Jenny, but it's about Jenny. And then she also finds out that Charlie has kind of come in contact with Joe again, and so Joe and Charlie are together. We don't really know that yet. Ellie goes out to New York to visit Joe, and Charlie's there, and yeah, that's that. That's where we are. That's where we are. Like I said earlier in the video, I really kind of like the switch of writing styles. I feel things are more focused and more direct, and events that do happen are kind of taken with more of a circumstance, like things are more fully understood and things happen for a reason, as opposed to things just happening by chance and kind of getting over it like we saw in the first section. I feel like personally so far I haven't found much character change in any of the characters other than Ellie. I still feel like Jenny and Charlie and Joe and the parents and even like anyone in the book that we had met before hasn't really changed over the 15 years, which I find kind of weird. Like, I understand it still needs to connect, but there's really not a difference other than having like Ginger be sick, which isn't really necessarily a character change because of time, but character change because of the illness, which sucks, but like I said, it kind of, I feel is almost missing something right now. I don't know. It's just something that I kind of saw in the book. I do like the character change of Ellie, or at least the growth, the kind of grown-upness that we kind of see from her, but everyone else I feel is very much still stuck in the same time frame that it was 15 years ago, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It kind of connects the book, but at the same time it's like, it's been 15 years, you'd think you'd grow up a bit. With the kind of more profoundness, I'm finding quotes that I'm really liking. So, favorite quotes so far that I've kind of come in contact with this later part in the book, where I am here, but I'm not yours. I really liked that one. It was kind of talking about the relationship of Joe and that kind of situation. I don't really remember because I just wrote down the quote and I didn't write the page number. And I'm a bad person. Other quotes, which these two actually came right after another, I kind of broke them down because I found it more profound when it was separated, even though it was like, I guess, one big quote from the book. Yeah, I like them separated. So the first one was, "We were solitary and apart, slept during the day and uncurled at dusk, like evening primroses, fragrant and lush." I just liked how I read it in my head, if that makes sense, like how the words just flowed together. I didn't find it too necessarily profound, but like I said, I liked the use of the words and the flow that it had when I first read it. And then the last one, which like I said came right after that one, was, "We never wanted to conquer the world, only our fears." Which, that alone, I'm like, you know what? I like this book just based on that. Is that terrible? Maybe a bit. But yeah, no, I really liked that quote. I thought it was really nice and pretty, and I might go around saying it now. Probably not. That'd be a really weird thing to do, just spitting quotes at people. Yeah, I probably won't like just yell it at someone. But yeah, probably it's a good quote. It's a good one. So that's that for that section. We see Ellie grow up. Jenny goes to jail. Joe and Charlie meet again through serendipitous ways. Ginger is sick. That's what's happened so far. So if you agree with something I said or disagreed, or if you have something to add on or whatever, you can leave it down below. Just comment in the little section, click the thumbs up and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. So it's come that time again where You help me decide what book we'll be reading next month. The candidates for next month's book club are Jason Meyer's Run the Game, Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere, or Victoria Aveyard's Red Queen. So let me know, comment below which book you would like to read along with me, or go on my Instagram or tweet me, let me know somehow which one you want to read, and we'll read that one if that happens.